So in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a talking atomic watch that has two buttons and a central crown. Now, a lot of them will look like this. They'll have both buttons protruding, but on occasion, you may see one, excuse me, pardon my fingers, like this, that doesn't have the secondary button protruding, at which point you will need to get a pin or a paper clip to press the recessed button. Otherwise, the watches are very identical, and basically have all of the features that this one here has that I'm about to show you. Now, you've got two buttons here. You've got a top button, the 2 o'clock button, and you've got a bottom button, the 4 o'clock button. If I press the 2 o'clock button once, and I should tell you, by the way, this watch came from the UK, and it does have a date announcement, but it uses the European date format. So I just wanted to let you know this is not broken. This is how it's meant to be programmed. But all of the talking atomic watches with the two buttons in the central crown will behave in this manner. So if I press, with the exception of the date being set to a particular region, so if I press the top button,
15:48.
This watch also has 24-hour time. Most of them do not, okay? Most of them are stuck on 12-hour time. So if I press the button again, the top 2 o'clock button,
15:48. Today is Wednesday, 18 July, year 2018.
and then for a third time,
USA time not updated.
okay, that means the watch did not receive a radio signal. That's how it's going to come when you first get it out of the box. Now, if I press the bottom button,
The alarm time is 0 o'clock. Alarm is off.
now the watch does have the ability to switch back to 12-hour time, and I'll show you that shortly. However, I'm going to start by covering the features that all of these watches have. So I'm going to press and hold the lower button.
That's alarm. Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's.
So if I press the 2 o'clock button,
Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's hour 4. Oh, clock button 2. Confirm.
so if I press the 2 o'clock button,
1 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
and I press the bottom button,
Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's minutes 4. Oh, clock button 2. Confirm. Oh, 1 minute. Oh, 2 minutes.
I'm pressing the top button to advance the minute, press the bottom button,
Confirm. The alarm time is 2:02. Alarm is on.
Once you set the alarm, it automatically turns itself on and alerts you to that fact. So let's go back in to the menu system. You press and hold the bottom button to get into the menus. Pressing the bottom button without holding it just announces the alarm status.
That's alarm. Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's alarm on off. Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's.
So I'm pressing the bottom button to advance through the menu. I'm going to press the top button.
Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. On, off. 4. Oh, clock button 2. Confirm.
And again, this is for the alarm, so if I press 2 o'clock,
Alarm off.
and again,
Alarm on. Alarm off.
so I'm going to confirm.
Confirm. Alarm is off. That's alarm. Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's.
So you have to get back into the menus, because every time you're done with the setting function, it'll kick you out.
Alarm on, off. Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's chime on, off. Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's.
This behaves exactly as the alarm does. You press the 2 o'clock, you shuffle on off, and you press 4 o'clock button to confirm. The next item, though, is very, very important.
Global signal selection. Only when you visit these countries. Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's.
Now, when you first get your watch, this is exactly where you're going to need to go. So we'll press the 2 o'clock button.
Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's 4. Oh, clock button 2. Confirm.
So we press the 2 o'clock button to cycle through.
USA Mountain. USA Central. USA
Those are all of your time zones. We're going to put this on Pacific time.
USA, Pacific. Confirm. 15:51.
So I'm going to press and hold the bottom button again. After the global signal selection, this is where things vary. Not every watch is going to have the features that I'm about to describe to you.
That's alarm. Press alarm. On, off. Chime. On, off. Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's
And again, I press and hold the bottom button to get into the menu, and I keep pressing the bottom button to cycle through the menu options.
global signal selection. Only when you visit these countries. Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's
Now, a lot of these style talking watches with the 2 buttons in the crown, they will stop here. There is no option to manually set the time on most of them. However,
that's time. Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's
this one does have the ability to set the time manually, as does this one. So if I press the 2 o'clock button,
press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's hour 4. Oh, clock button 2. Confirm.
this should sound very familiar. This is exactly the same as the alarm setting.
Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's minutes 4. Oh, clock button 2. Confirm.
And I'll press the bottom button.
Confirm. 15:53. That's alarm. Press 2.
So we're back into the menus.
Button 2. That's
There's one more option that is unique to this specific watch from Verbalize.
alarm. On, off. Chime. On, off. Global signal selection. Only when you visit these countries. That's time. 15 o'clock. 53 minutes.
Now that is actually a bit confusing. This is actually where you get to change the voice, as well as the time setting for 12 or 24 hour. If I press the top button,
3 o'clock. 54 minute p.m. 15 o'clock. 54 minutes. 3 o'clock. 54 minute p.m.
so I press the top button to cycle through. If I press the bottom button,
Confirm. 3:54 p.m.
now the watch is exactly the same. If I press the top button,
3:54 p.m. Today is Wednesday, 18 July, year 2018. USA. Time not updated.
if I press the bottom button,
The alarm time is 2:02 a.m. Alarm is off.
so if I press and hold the bottom button,
Set alarm. Press 2. Oh, clock button to set alarm. On, off. Press 2. Oh, clock button to set. Chime on, off. Press 2. Oh, clock button to set. Global signal selection. Only when you visit these countries. Press 2. Oh, clock button to set. Set. Time. Press 2. Oh, clock button to set. 3 o'clock. 55 minute p.m.
now I personally like it on 24-hour time, so I'm going to press the top button.
15 o'clock. 55 minutes. Confirm. 15:55.
So that's basically how you work with one of these 2-button talking watches. And again, if I go back through the menus,
That's alarm. Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's alarm. On, off. Chime. On, off. Global signal selection. Only when you visit these countries. Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's
most of the 2-button talking atomic watches will stop here. It'll loop back around to alarm setting after global signal selection.
That's time. Press 2. Oh, clock button 2. That's
The only other watch that allows you to manually set the time that is of this design is this one, and also a particular one from the American trade name Ryzen that it can be charged over USB.
15 o'clock. 56 minutes.
This watch is the only one of these watches that has the dual voice.
3 o'clock. 56 minute p.m. 15 o'clock. 56 minutes. Confirm.
Now, I must stress, it's the only one of these watches in this 2-button configuration. Now, there are similar models available from talkingwatchshop.co.uk that have this particular setup. Exact same voice, exact same internals, different design. The only other watch in the United States that has 2 voices has a 4-button design, and that's a whole other animal. I've already done a video about a year or 2 ago about how to set one of those up. But that's how you set up one of these radio-controlled talking atomic watches that only has the, excuse me, I'm trying to shuffle a few things here, that has the 2 buttons in the crown. So, that's pretty much it. Oh, in case anybody's wondering about this particular model, this one is made of silver. It's not made of steel, and that's one of the reasons it's actually pretty expensive. It's $250 US, and it has a deployant buckle with a leather strap. And I've been wearing this on campus for the last couple of semesters, and I really like it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.